Today on the Trent Out Loud podcast. If somebody says, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus and has a pot of boiling hot water, I understand if you want to be standoffish. I don't understand why you would now take out your gun and say, put down that water, I'll shoot you in your face. What up? It's your boy Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, it's Wednesday morning. Y'all know me. This is my third favorite day of the week. It's hump day. This means that we're closer to the weekend than we were for the past 2 days. All right. So, yeah, I'm in a good mood. All right. Let me get on with the show. I got 4 lead stories for you guys today. The first one is a sad story. We're going to talk about the fatal shooting of Sonya Massey by the police, who she actually called to help her because she thought there was an intruder in her home. Then in our second lead story, we're going to talk about Sonya Massey again. Her father actually spoke with, I think it was CBS News. So we're going to talk about what her father thinks and stick around. There's some interesting details on how the police actually lied to him when they first told him about his daughter's passing. Then for our third lead story, we're going to talk about Kevin Hart responding to Tom Brady not being happy about the Netflix special. And then in our fourth lead story, we're going to talk about Elon Musk talking about being tricked into his transgender son getting puberty blockers, and he says his son is dead. All right, after lead stories, we're going to jump into quick news. We're going to talk about Senator George Lang. We're going to talk about Kamala Harris and her abortion policies. Then we're going to talk about Joe Biden, Donald Trump, and then Beyoncé granting Kamala Harris permission to use her song Freedom. After quick news, we're going to jump into question of the day. And then, of course, as always, we're going to close out with a little bit of sports news. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, your radio, or your devices up. I'm about to start this show. Let's go. Body cam shows police officer fatally shot black woman who called 911 for help. Authorities have made public a disturbing video showing a white police officer in Illinois fatally shooting a black woman who called police for help when she feared there was an intruder in her home. Sonya Massey, a 36-year-old woman, was tragically killed by Deputy Sheriff Sean Grayson of the Saginaw County Sheriff's Office in her home in Springfield, the capital of Illinois, on the early morning of July 6th. Massey had called the police because she believed there was an intruder attempting to break into her home. When the police arrived, they used flashlights to search her home. The Deputy Grayson, who is white, and his partner eventually entered Massey's home and began speaking to her. Following the initial conversation and a request for Massey's driver's license, Deputy Grayson noticed a pot of boiling water on the stove and instructed Massey to remove the pot off the fire, to remove the pot to prevent fire. As Massey approached the pot, the officers visibly distanced themselves from her, prompting Massey to question where they were going. Grayson jokingly replied that he was moving away from the hot water. Despite a lighthearted exchange, Grayson then approached Massey with his gun drawn as she began to kneel under the counter with her hands raised. All right, so that was a description of what happened. I'll give you a little bit more details than that article is putting out. So these two officers were in her home, and you could tell from the video. By the way, I'm not going to play the video. If you want to see it, you can go to my Instagram at Trent Out Loud. It's gone viral. I'm sure everybody has seen it by now, but for those of you who haven't, you can go to my Instagram page at Trent Out Loud to see the full video and extended videos and everything. So the officer, you could see from the exchange that she is not 100%, right? You could tell that she has a little bit of like maybe like a slight mental disorder. She's not answering questions 100% appropriately, right? And it's a little bit of like, I wouldn't say, anyways, I don't want to speculate what it is, but there is word out there that she is dealing with some mental health issues. I don't want to speculate on what it could be, but you could tell from her answers that she's not 100%. Okay, fine. So during these exchanges now, asking for her driver's license and all that stuff, I mean, let's pause there. Why are the officers, if I'm calling you guys for an intruder, why are you asking me for my ID and all of that stuff? But let's try to give them the benefit of the doubt and say, hey, she's not answering 100%. Let's get a little bit more, information from her. Let's get her driver's license. Okay, play benefit of the doubt. So as this exchange is happening, she now goes, one of the officers sees that there's a boiling pot of hot water, okay? And he says to her, hey, go and take that pot off the stove. As she's going there, he's walking further away from the kitchen. And she's like, hey, what are you walking away for? It's like, I don't want to come around you with that hot water. Again, let's play devil's advocate and assume that maybe the officer feels a little bit off-put by maybe she has some mental health issues, okay? So as she's taking up the boiling pot of hot water, and as she notices him walking away, and he jokes and says, I don't want to be around you with hot water, she says, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Now, I don't know what that means. I've been looking to try to find out. I don't really understand that part of it. But again, like I said, maybe she's not 100%. Okay, so you as an officer are like, hey, we're maybe dealing with somebody who's a tad bit unstable. Again, let's just give them all the benefits of the doubt here. Now, when he says that to her, when she says that to him, he gets put off now and is like, I don't know what you're talking about. Be careful with that water. I will shoot you in your face. Now, listen, I don't know how many of you have been around somebody that has mental health issues. If somebody says, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus and has a pot of boiling hot water, I understand if you want to be standoffish. I don't understand why you would now take out your gun and say, put down that water, I'll shoot you in your face. As the officer does that, she puts down the pot of boiling hot water. She has mittens and gloves that she used to pick up this hot water. She has those in her hands. She puts her hands up and then gets down to the floor. And at that time, the officer shoots her in the face. Now, I gave you every single understandable reason for the officer to be off-put, for the officer to ask her for her license, for the officer to say, hey, I'm a little afraid around you with hot water. All of those things maybe shouldn't even have happened, but let's say they did for the benefit of the doubt. There is absolutely, unequivocally, no reason that anybody could give me for him to shoot her in the face. If you feel threatened by this woman who may have, and we don't know yet, who may have mental health issues and she has a pot of boiling hot water, you've been in her house, you've ID'd her, you had all of that stuff, wouldn't you just run out the house, close the door, and be like, yo, I don't want to be around her. She could throw a bottle. Why would you shoot this woman in the face? Can you tell me that, please? Why wouldn't you try to tase her if you feel like your life is threatened? Why wouldn't you feel like you maybe throw something back? I could give you 20,000 different options as to what you could have done instead of shooting this woman in her face. And for the people that are like, oh, these police officers are trained to shoot center mass. They're not trained to shoot to disarm. Yes, but they choose to fire center mass on a threat. A woman that has a boiling pot of hot water is not a lethal threat. So anyways, I just gave you my opinion and my take, and I think it's super fair. And I tried to give these police officers every single benefit of the doubt, and there is no excuse for shooting somebody in the face who you may feel has mental health issues coming at you with a boiling pot of hot water. There's just no reason. So you guys let me know what you think about this. The officer has been fired, relieved of his duty. He's been charged for murder 1, and he has pleaded not guilty. We'll see what happens in this case. To me, it should be an open and shut case, but with the legal system, you never know what could happen. So a couple of other things also to let you guys know. This officer has been charged with two DUIs, and he has been jumping around to, I think it's 3 or 4 different units that didn't want him in the past, I think 6 years. So this officer already has red flags on his portfolio. So there's also that to think. But I would really love to know what you guys think about the situation. Send me an email, trentoutloud@cfqr600.com, comment below, or send me a DM at any of my social handles, Trent Out Loud or Exclusivity Media. Okay, the situation gets worse. In our second lead story, Sonya Massey's father speaks out after she was fatally shot by an Illinois deputy in her home. Sonya Massey's father speaks out about being told conflicting stories about his daughter's death. He says, although the body cam footage was disturbing, he's grateful that it was released and Massey's family knows the truth. As previously reported, Sonya Massey was fatally shot by an Illinois police officer after she called 911 to report a possible intruder in her home. Recently released body cam footage shows the Illinois deputy asked her to remove a boiling pot of hot water to prevent the fire. Shortly after the deputy shot her, he allegedly shot her, and he claims because she came at him with a boiling pot of hot water. Okay, I wish this story would have told you more details, but here we have a clip of what her father was told when he first found out about her murder. Listen to this.
Hearing that you were told conflicting stories, what were you told?
I was never told that it was a deputy-involved shooting. We were under the impression that she was killed by the intruder. I did not find out that the deputies killed her until my brother asked for Sonya's address, and I gave it to him. And he said, brother, this says deputies involved. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then there was a story that this was a self-inflicted gunshot.
This man lost his daughter because she called the police because she thought there was an intruder in her home. And they didn't even have the respect to tell him that it was the police that shot his daughter. He was told, and he was left to assume that it was the intruder. This is just a disgrace to the Illinois Deputy Department, just a disgrace on every sort of level. There has been additional footage that also has been released after the shooting where somebody is trying to get a medical kit, and they're like, "No, we don't need a medical kit. This was a headshot. She's dead," as if like they just shot a deer in the road. There's been reports, or there's been videos that I've seen also too, where the officer is just like, "Yo, she's an effing crazy B word." This police force and this police officer has no respect for human life. He has no respect for Sonya Massey. He has no respect for her family. I don't know what else to say. To me, this is like a George Floyd case where it's just open and shut. This is just straight murder. He should just be convicted. At least we don't have to go through the fight of, the whole George Floyd thing where you have to march to, for him to be charged. At least the DA has done their due diligence and charged him with murder 1 right away. But we shall see how diligent things are going forward, and if he will be charged and what his sentence will be. If you ask me, this police officer should never see the light of day ever again for the rest of his life. All right, in our third lead story, Kevin Hart responds to Tom Brady's regret from Netflix roast. Kevin Hart said, "I can see where he's coming from." So Tom Brady was left feeling remorseful after airing the live Netflix special that was hosted by the comedian Kevin Hart. Hart, who is also a father, emphasizes with the retired NFL quarterback Tom Brady. During a 3-hour-long roast on the live Netflix special, jokes touched on sensitive subjects from Brady, such as his divorce with Giselle, the Deflategate scandal, and his relationship with former New England Patriots head coach Bill Belichick, which he later did an interview with the Pivot podcast and explained why he wouldn't do something like that again. When he says it, now they're talking about, and now Kevin Hart chimes in and he says, when he talks about regret doing it, I don't think he's referring to it Hart said while speaking to Taylor from Bleacher Report. I think what he's referring to and he's saying is, I could have tapered it a little bit differently, saying having a conversation pre-taping, like, hey guys, let's do this, let's do that, let's not touch on this and let's not touch on that. The idea of going all in and saying, hey, I don't care because I know the world would love to see me to be on the receiving end of all of this backlash because I am Tom Brady, would be at the because I've been at the highest stages of my life. So I don't know what to think about this. Tom Brady, it's a roast, and when you're going to do a roast and you're going on Netflix, you cannot say, hey, don't talk about my wife, don't talk about this, don't talk about that. Like, I think of anything, he just should have said, like, don't talk about my kids, because I think somebody made a little comment about his son, but I'm disappointed to hear that he regrets doing it. I think Kevin Hart is trying to just not make it seem so bad by saying, like, oh, I think he just wishes that he maybe just didn't do a couple of things. No, I think Tom Brady regretfully, just wishes he didn't do any of it at all. I don't think that it went off like how he thought it would be planned, but I thought the roast was funny. I actually still haven't finished watching the whole thing, actually, but I thought it was well executed. I thought it was really funny. All the stars came out. I would like to see more of that, and I think it's nice to see somebody at Tom Brady's level, like, be made fun of. You know what I mean? Like, you get made fun of on Instagram, you get made fun of on social media, you get made fun of all the time. Like Kevin Hart said, somebody at his stature, you don't normally see, like, them being humbled. So I just thought it was really funny, and I think it's sad that he regrets it. But like I said, I understand the sensitive things, kids off the table, but the rest of the stuff should have just been whatever. But hey, I'm on Tom Brady's position, so what can I say? All right, in our fourth and final lead story, Elon Musk said he was tricked into authorizing puberty blockers for his transgender child. He said, "My son is dead." All right, so Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, expressed his belief that his estranged transgender child fell victim to what he refers to as woke mind virus after being misled into authorizing puberty blockers. Musk, the 53-year-old billionaire, has vowed to combat the culture that he deems as incredibly evil and is responsible for allowing his 20-year-old child, formerly known as Xavier and now Vivian Jean Wilson, to undergo gender reassignment surgery in 2022. I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier, Musk said to Dr. Jordan Peterson during an interview with the Daily Wire. This is before I had any understanding of what was going on. COVID was going on. There was a lot of confusion, and I was told Xavier might commit suicide if he doesn't do it. Musk, who characterizes the procedure as incredibly evil, stated that he was never informed that the puberty blockers were essentially sterilizing medication. I was tricked into doing this, Musk said. I don't know about y'all. I didn't know about this, but I don't like deep dive into like Elon Musk's like life. So I had no idea that he had an estranged transgender son and that went to undergo transgender surgery. But what it seems like to me is that this doesn't align with the Republican mandate of, they rebuke homosexuality, they rebuke, transgender or, non-binary. Like, they just want a man and a woman to get married. And everything other than that is just straight evil. So I think that now that we're in a presidential season, now that Elon Musk is donating, I think it was $45 million a month to the Trump campaign. Which now that Kamala Harris is running, I would like to know if he's going to continue doing that. But yeah, so I think that because he is so aligned with the Republican Party now, and we're starting to dig deeper into who are Donald Trump's donors, who's in the Republican Party, who's on whose side, that this part of his life, his son or daughter's part of his life doesn't align with their ideals. And now he's trying to backtrack, because you say whatever you want about Elon Musk. The man, he's smart. He's not a dumb man, right? So you can't tell me that he didn't have enough comprehension to understand what puberty blockers, can and will do. And I'm not, just to make clear, I'm not saying that they are a sterilizing medication or anything like that. I'm just saying whatever it is, I just don't feel like he was tricked. I have enough confidence that Elon Musk will know about something that he's doing before he signs documentation. So this story sounds like he's just trying to backtrack and not have anything negative, on his docket when the Republican Party, talks about him. So yeah, shame on Elon Musk, man. That's your child, bro.
It happened to one of my older boys, where I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This is before I had really any understanding of what was going on, and it wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs.
All right, this brings us to quick news. Ring my bell. State Senator George Lang says he regrets his decisive remarks he made regarding civil war in the attempt of Donald Trump's loss. In the event of a Donald Trump loss. Ohio State Senator George Lang quickly garnered a bunch of backlash after statements he made at a rally advocating for the Trump Vance ticket. In comments made Monday, the senator said Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are the last chance to save our country politically. And he said, I'm afraid if we lose this one, it's going to take a civil war to save this country. He walked back those comments on a social media post, claiming he regrets the comments he made. He says the words he used during the rally don't accurately reflect his views. Do not accurately reflect his views. I have the statement. He said the statement below on comments made earlier today. This is exactly his statement. He said, I can't speak today. Remarks I made earlier today at a rally in Middletown do not accurately reflect my views. I regret the decisive remarks I made in the excitement of the moment on stage. Especially in the light of the assassination attempt on Donald Trump last week, we should all be mindful of what is said at political events, including myself. All right. I don't believe this for one split second. Do I have a clip of this? Actually, I have a clip. Listen to it, and then I'll talk about it on the other side. Take a listen.
Fight! Fight! I believe wholeheartedly Donald Trump and Butler County's J.D. Vance are the last chance to save our country politically. I'm afraid if we lose this one, it's going to take a civil war to save the country, and it will be saved.
Bro, stop. This is the Trump campaign calling him, saying, listen, Kamala Harris is on the ticket right now. We can't have this. We can't have that. Walk back those comments. Trust me, he believes what he's saying. All right, in our second quick story, Vice President Kamala Harris delivers a speech during a rally today in Wisconsin. I really cannot talk today. Oh my gosh. In Wisconsin, speaking on economic opportunities and her plans to support reproductive rights. I have a little clip. Take a listen.
We who believe in reproductive freedom will stop Donald Trump's extreme abortion bans because we trust women to make decisions about their own body and not have their government tell them what to do.
Okay, so I watched this. That clip is actually from Kamala Harris's first official campaign rally in Wisconsin. Not only were those remarks amazing and her other remarks amazing, her presentation, her poise, her delivery was amazing. I think that's what most people are watching. We all know her policies are the same as Biden's. She's going to continue them. I hope she actually makes some changes in her policies just so that she doesn't just seem as a carbon copy of Joe Biden. I would like to know what she thinks about some things, but I think she doesn't want to rock the boat right now. So she's just trying to just like, okay, this is just a continuation. But I'm not going to say she's Barack Obama level, but the energy, the delivery, the charismaticness of her speech was Obama-esque. Like or hate Obama, he's a great speaker. And I feel that from Kamala too. She got so much cheers, she got so much roars. Like she just makes you feel and makes you believe in what she's saying. So yeah, shout out to Kamala Harris. This was a great speech. All right, in our third quick story, Joe Biden says he plans to address the nation following withdrawal from the 2024 presidential election. I just wanted to let you guys know about it. This will be happening tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. President Biden said, "I will address the nation from the Oval Office about what lies ahead and how I will finish the job for the American people." All right, I'm excited for this tonight because, that letter that he wrote was like, okay, like very, very formal. And I know that this is not going to be just off the cuff speech, and it will be a written speech for sure. But I hope they give us some more details of, not necessarily like why he stepped down, but yes, like why he stepped down. And like, I hope he's honest with the reasons. Like, I want to know how Joe Biden actually really feels about his future. Is he going to come out and say, you know what? I don't know what everybody was talking about. I was totally fine. I was totally capable. I could do the next 4 years, but hey, the numbers weren't there. So I just did this for my country. I hope he doesn't come out and say that. And I hope he comes out and just tells the truth, you know what, guys, my heart was willing. Like, I feel in my heart like I could have gone on for the next 4 years and delivered everything that I promised you guys when I first ran. It was my dream to be a two-term president, like any president dream would be. However, I'm 82, I'm not, what I used to be. And we don't know what the next 4 years, would have become with my body. Like I said, my heart was there, but, my brain and my body, who knows? And for you, the people, I wanted to make sure that you had somebody who was of sound mind and body and physically capable of doing this job. And there was nobody who could have done it better than Kamala Harris. Like, if he delivers that, then I think we have a home run. But we'll see. I think this is everybody's talking about his legacy, like him actually stepping aside for Kamala Harris cements him as one of the greatest presidents of all time. Not only because of that, also because of his record, but just the selfishness of a leader, giving up the reins, is unprecedented and unselfish and putting country first and man first. Putting country first and his fellow man first before himself. So I just hope that he caps it off properly in the Oval Office tonight. So y'all stay tuned. And of course, as you know, we'll talk about it on tomorrow's show. All right, in our fourth quick story, Secret Service Director Kimberly Cattle reportedly resigns after Trump's assassination attempt. Kimberly Cattle, Director of Secret Service, is reportedly stepping down from her position following the assassination attempt against Donald Trump. According to AP News, Cattle resigned in an email to her staff just 1 day after she stood before a congressional committee and was criticized for her security failures that took place when shots were fired at Trump. She said, "I take full responsibility for the security lapse," she said in an email on Tuesday. "In the light of recent events, it is with a heavy heart that I have made the difficult decision to step down as your director." So this was bipartisan push. Everybody was getting on her. You got to resign. You got to resign. You got to resign. I don't know. Like, I get why she had to resign. I get it because somebody's got to take the fall. And I don't know. Just something about it just feels a little off to me. It feels almost like, okay, so somebody messed up in the field. They're not big enough to take the fall, so it's got to be the director who wasn't there and have anything to do with it. But at the end of the day, the buck stops with the boss, right? So if she's a boss, if she's a director, she should have implemented, stronger protocols. But something about it just feels weird to me. I don't know what it is. It just feels weird. In our fifth quick story, Donald Trump speaks following the news of the Secret Service director resigning. Trump shares a message after it's reported that the Secret Service director, Kimberly Cattle, has resigned following Trump's assassination attempt. All right, take a guess what Donald Trump said. The Biden-Harris administration did not properly protect me, and I was forced to take a bullet for democracy. It was my great honor to do so. Yo, man. As I say every day when I talk about politics on the show, I don't want to be political and tell you who to vote for. But for those of you who are voting for Donald Trump, I don't understand how you feel after you hear things like this. Like the Secret Service that follows Donald Trump is the same Secret Service that he had when he was president. It's the same detail. They follow you around for life, right? Well, they'll change as they go around, but you don't have. It's not like, hey, Trump, you're not. When did he leave office in 2020? Hey, now you have a whole new detail. Like that's been the detail forever. You know what I mean? And it's not like, oh, Biden and Harris are like, let's give Trump this detail. Like it just doesn't work that way. And to me, I think that Donald Trump thinks that his followers are dumb enough to believe this. That's why he tweets things like this out. So anyways, y'all take your own opinion, but Donald Trump is nuts. All right, in our sixth and final quick story, a little bit of fun. Beyoncé grants permission for Kamala Harris to use her song Freedom for her presidential campaign. Beyoncé has reportedly permitted Vice President Kamala Harris to use her song Freedom throughout her presidential campaign. On Monday evening, Harris walked out to the anthem during her first official appearance at her campaign headquarters. A close source said that Beyoncé, known for her strict clearance guidelines around her music, quickly granted permission to Harris's campaign on Monday, just hours before Kamala Harris's entrance. The singer has not officially endorsed Harris since President Joe Biden announced that he would not be seeking a second term, following the use of Freedom to signal her support for Harris, CNN reported. Beyoncé's mother, Tina Knowles, expressed her support for Harris on Sunday, shortly after Biden's announcement. She posted on her Instagram a photo of herself alongside Kamala Harris, noting her leadership qualities and supporting her presidential bid. So y'all know it's just going to be a matter of time before Queen Bee Beyoncé comes out and supports Kamala, but really cool that she's letting her use her music. All right, this takes us to question of the day. All right, we're short on time, so I got to run through this quickly. How much would you pay for an engagement ring? And these are women answers only. So Wheezy DTF said 8 to 15,000. She said, this is a nice answer. Miss Brat 3 said, what you can afford. If it's not good enough, get a new woman. Okay. Exo Mando said, the humane answer is whatever you can afford, but my answer is simply don't embarrass me. Okay. J. Why not said, I'm not materialistic, so price doesn't matter as long as it doesn't turn my finger green. It's a good girl. Hazel D. Glenn said $15,000 to $20,000. I read this before. This is a nice story. What's how you pronounce the girl's name? Purview Maya said, well, my hubby didn't have anything to present me when he asked. I said yes, despite. A few weeks later, we went ring shopping and found a cute yet affordable set at Penny's. He proposed again with the ring. This was 27 years ago, 2 days ago. We celebrated 26 years of marriage this past February. So ladies, that's the answer you should be asking. That's the answer you should be giving, right? Like you don't even need a ring. You need a commitment and you need love and you need trust and you need all of that stuff. A ring, it really has nothing to do with it. Jit.juke said, I don't care, just make sure my nail's done before you propose. All right, I like that. Okay, I think this is a man answering, but we'll put it on quickly. He said, my father told me to buy a ring that makes you proud when she's with her homegirls. Okay. Sophie _Barry said, as much as you can afford, it's the love that counts. Exactly. K Baby the Great said, whatever the man can afford, stop putting price on everything. Love that. For Fargo said, my girl's ring was $17, but then I got some money and bought her a new one for $19. Okay, that's somebody just trying to be funny. Josely Interior said minimum 100K. Okay, who's spending 100K on a ring unless you're like super balling? That makes no sense. All right, I'll read two more quickly. Somebody said, these comments are telling me a lot about y'all. And somebody said, just don't embarrass me in front of my daddy, please. All right, so I already gave you guys my opinion. It should be whatever you can afford. So if you're balling and you're a multimillionaire, yeah, a $1,000 or $2,000 ring, it's like, it doesn't make any sense, right? But if you work a normal job, you make $40,000, $50,000 a year, then it shouldn't matter the size of the ring. The commitment, the family, to your future and to your life is what's most important. All right, this brings us to sports news. Gilbert Arenas faces backlash after his rant about Team USA barely beating South Sudan. He said they don't even have shoes. They get their shoes from America. Following Team USA's victory over South Sudan, Gilbert Arenas made some controversial and xenophobic comments, prompting criticism from a lot of people online and even NBA baller Joel Embiid, who described his remarks as disappointing. The ex-NBA player went on an offensive rant Saturday shortly after LeBron James and Team USA barely defeated South Sudan in the Olympic Games, winning 101-100. Arenas strongly criticized the U.S. team's performance and made controversial remarks about their opponent in a TikTok video that has been widely condemned as offensive. He said, we got the males almost lost to Africans, Arenas said. Almost lost to the Abi tribe. This is crazy. The ex-Wizard because he's playing a Wizard. The ex-Wizard player continued to criticize South Sudan by commenting on the standard of living and argued that the United States should not be defeated by a team like the Jamaican bobsled team known as the Cool Running Team from the 1988 Winter Olympics. This is crazy. Man, Embiid over there. This is crazy, man. Embiid over there throwing the game for his cousins and ish. Arenas added at one point. Yo, this guy going at Embiid, going at the Jamaican bobsled team, like what the hell? Listen, I don't have enough time to comment on this, but what this is just ignorance. But this is what I tell you guys all the time. These people who are on platforms, podcasts and YouTube, Stephen A. Smith, all these people, yo, they try to say things to go viral and they actually like the backlash because people will go search, watch their videos and they get paid per views. So you going and researching this and watching that clip, he's making money. So the more viral he gets, the more money he makes. That's why Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, anybody you see that's not on a normal platform like ABC, NBC or whatever, and they're like me, like on a YouTube platform, they're going to say crazy things to get more views. Anyways, that's it. That's the show. Thanks for kicking it with me. If you're used to watching this show on a YouTube or listening to this on podcast platforms, please try to check me out Monday through Friday on CFQR600.com or 600 AM if you're in the Montreal area, and vice versa. If you're used to listening to this podcast on 600 AM or on CFQR600.com, and you can always catch the show from 11 to 12, We understand you're busy. You got things to do. You can always catch the Trend Out Loud podcast on YouTube or podcast platforms. Just go to your desired site, type in Trend Out Loud. The show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow or subscribe button so you never miss a show. And lastly, if you're like me and like to watch your podcast with video, Spotify now supports video. And if you ask me, it's a better way to watch video because on YouTube, the app always closes whenever you're doing something. On Spotify, the app never closes and you can watch the video up in the corner. So that's it. And also check me out on Instagram at Trend Out Loud and on Instagram Exclusivity Media. All right, that's it. I'm running out of time. I'll check y'all tomorrow, Thursday. It's your boy. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trend Out Loud. Peace.